Welcome to Stop Dating Losers. Get your free relationship advice on my website. Subscribe and share this video with everyone you know, and let us go ahead and begin, shall we? Alright, first comment. Men think nice women are stupid and easy to manipulate. Wow. Well, that's quite a stupid comment. I don't see who you're trying to manipulate because men are going to laugh at that, real men. The toxic men, they might actually agree with you. And the same could be said for toxic women out there who think nice guys are stupid and easy to manipulate. It always works both ways. So your opinion is not unpopular. It's popular amongst toxic women who say this. I mean, you're saying men as in all men. So, yeah, this is quite a stupid comment. Easy to manipulate. Why would a nice guy want to manipulate a nice woman? Riddle me that. It shouldn't be too hard for you to figure that out. Here's a general rule of thumb, in case you've missed it, because I think you really missed it in life. Nice people want to treat other people politely. Toxic people want to treat others impolitely. Or they want to treat others politely and just to be able to manipulate them. What you're describing here. Okay, that doesn't mean all men are like that, and it doesn't mean all women are like that either. So I'm sorry to have to paint it to you so red and blue, so black and white, but that's the way it is in life. So you're only exposing yourself by saying men as in all men. You're being the toxic one here, meaning the stupid one. So you should educate yourself. This is not how life works. You can't go off on social media or hopefully offline as well and start saying men this, men that, because everybody's going to look at you, the nice guys and the nice women, and they're going to feel pity for you because that's something so ignorant to say, that men in general want to manipulate nice women and that they think that they're stupid. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. That's... wow. Can't believe that such ignorant comments exist these days, but they unfortunately always will, I guess. Alright, no one talks about how exhausting and boring it is to have every guy on a dating app say, "Hi, how are you? What are you up to? Any fun plans this weekend? How was your day? Either have substance or leave me alone." Small talk is boring and low effort. Show that you actually want to get to know people. Okay, well, that's another reason why you shouldn't be using dating apps. Now, by the way, even if you try to have a conversation with the guy offline, you might actually get the same thing. Maybe it's raining outside. Hey, tough weather, huh? There's nothing wrong with small talk. I mean, if you're already getting annoyed by small talk, you probably shouldn't be trying to look for somebody to be with. It sounds like you have a lot of anxiety and some issues to work out. Because a real potential relationship, it requires an enormous amount of patience, but in a good way. Because you want to get to know each other. You don't mind small talk. You don't mind having the same types of conversations. I mean, imagine spending a whole lifetime with a person in a truly loving relationship and saying, "Can we skip the small talk? I don't want to talk about this." Doesn't sound like love. Love is everything. If you love to hear that your partner says "I love you" every single day, why don't you tell them, "You know what, that's annoying, stop saying that. You're saying the same thing." No, you like it, don't you? Everybody likes it. If you don't like it, you have mental and emotional issues. You need to talk to a psychologist about that. So small talk, especially when you don't really know each other, that's absolutely required. You guys got to talk about something. How are you supposed to get to know each other? Now, granted, if that's all you guys have in the tank is small talk and nothing of real substance, deeper conversations as a relationship between acquaintance develops, then yes, it's going to become a little bit concerning, but maybe it's because one or both of you are too shy. It's not necessarily anything to deal with your level of intelligence. I mean, speaking is just as emotional as it is mental. So if you're not feeling that you're getting the right words across, you're not in the mood, all this can have an influence over what you say. Especially a lot of shy women and shy men out there. They don't know. I don't know. Hey, hi, how's it going? They they have to sometimes, walk on eggshells just to be safe. I mean, imagine if you open up with a deep conversation already right off the bat. You got to find out if the person's in the right mood. You have to read the room, right? You have to say, okay, do I think that this would be an interesting conversation to bring up? But you don't just open up with such a deep conversation. So, yeah, small talk is boring and low effort. No, it's not. Talking in general is effort. And if it feels boring to you, then you're not ready to talk to somebody. I mean, if you're walking somewhere outside and 5 people say, hey, man, this is tough weather, or the weather's nice, are you going to look at them and say, stop being boring and don't ever tell me anything about the weather ever again? I mean, it sounds like you're the problem. But I mean, if you're on a dating app, it sounds like you're desperate and you're getting tired of people asking you nicely how you're doing, which shows that they actually care. I mean, I don't approve of dating apps because they're a huge waste of time. But what do you expect? That's actually a good thing, to have other people on a dating app of all places asking you, what are you up to? How are you? How is it supposed to escalate so quickly if you can't even handle small talk? Then you're not going to be able to handle bigger talk, deeper talk, right? It's simple mathematics. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so he says, I don't want a relationship. Let's just go with the flow and kick it. All right. And she says, cool. We don't even have to go with the flow or kick it. I just want you to put me through the mattress when I call, if I call. No unnecessary talking because I really don't give a F what you think. And when we finish, I'm going to get up and leave because I'm busy and I have a lot on my plate. No hanging out because I wouldn't want people to know I'm messing with you. Wow. He says, damn, that's effed up. She says, ain't it? All right. Well, this is not the Charlie's Angels attitude that you want to have. This isn't Charlie's Angels material. You're not cool at all. This is a toxic female. She doesn't deserve to be called a woman. No real woman would speak like this. No. A respectable, loving, compassionate woman, full of passion and joy, doesn't speak like this. She's speaking just like a toxic male would. And I highly suspect that she was burned in maybe a relationship or more in the past, and that's why she's acting like this. It is messed up, as the guy said. But that's what the guy gets too. Because I don't want a relationship. Let's just go with the flow and kick it. Okay, so he's messing around just as much as she is. And if looking at this even deeper, I hope I'm not looking too much into this, but if she's being sarcastic, as in she does want a real relationship, let's just leave that door open to that possibility if she's being sarcastic here. And she's saying, okay, if you just want to go with the flow and kick it, then I'm going to treat you like you don't mean anything. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't advise this. But if that's what she's doing, okay, I see your point. But it's still a waste of your time to even respond to garbage like that. Just move on. Just move on. It's not worth your time to write this big paragraph here. So, sure, kudos to her for trying to tell him something equally as toxic, but don't waste your time with this. If that's the case, by the way. Now, if she means this, then of course she's a toxic person. But if she's just being sarcastic, I understand you're trying to put him in his place by opening his eyes, but realize that ignorance is bliss when you can't fix stupid. So, okay, so it's black and white in that sense. I don't know if it's black or white in this case. I'm leaning more towards she's being sarcastic, actually. But that's a very creative response, so I'm not exactly 100% sure. that's, that's kind of overboard, if you know what I mean. It sounds pretty mighty overboard. Let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Went on a date with a guy who said, I've been his gym crush for months. I was like, why you ain't never approached me? He said, that's not what we do at the gym. That's not what we go to for the gym. He used correct grammar, planned a date for the next day. I told him I'm abstinent and not changing that in case that changes his mind. And he still wanted to go ahead. We went for drinks the next afternoon for a few hours and we spoke about a wide range of things and he paid, which was sweet. Okay. He then texted me after he got home, asked me on a second date, correct grammar, respectful, told me he enjoyed our conversation. During the date, he called me a baddie, bro, and G. Honestly, I still give him all the green flags based off our expectations prior. Asked him what he's looking for, and he said if nothing comes of it, we can be friends. I think establishing a friendship is necessary. I'm not actually looking for anything. I told him prior to the date as well. I'm just living life as I've never really dated. Okay. Wow, this is quite a nothing burger. All of that. I mean, she wrote all of this. Okay, well, the only good thing I got out of all of this is that she wants to be friends. That's what I promote. So stop dating. Just start befriending somebody. Get to know them. And let them know that you would like to start off just as friends, but you are interested in them, just in case it goes to develop into something better. But with dating, you just jump right to it and you pretend that, okay, either it's a go or a no-go, a check mark or an X mark. That's rushing. That's rushing because you're rushing to try to get to know each other and you can't rush that process. That's a very precious. That's why most relationships do fail in the future, eventually. Doesn't matter if it's decades that it takes that much time, for stubborn people who want to insist on staying together when they're clearly incompatible. You have to be sure from the very beginning, getting to know them very slowly. If you're going to potentially spend an entire lifetime together, why rush things? You're just going to end up tripping over yourself constantly forever, now and forever. So, yeah, this is a big nothing burger here. I mean, she's even joking around with baddie, G, and bro. That's what he said. So, yeah, okay, well, take things slow. I mean, I can't really say too much with this because she says that I went on a date with a guy who said I've been his gym crush for months. Okay. And grammar issues, yada, yada. All right, well, not quite that interesting. Probably the most boring comment I've ran into in the entire series so far, I must say. Okay. All right, last comment of the show. I saw something on TikTok that said, I'm never getting over the fact that romance as a genre, as the highest selling genre, exists largely because straight women fantasize about being loved and treated kindly by men, and men constantly make fun of this because they think it's just that unrealistic that they could cherish women and that women are stupid in the first place for wanting such an impossible thing. And I think this is the truest thing I've ever heard. Yes, absolutely. It's a sad world, and it has been for a very long time now. At least a decade and a half. At least, at the most intense. So many men out there are completely stupid. I have to use that word. They don't believe in true love. They don't believe that fantasy fairy tales can in fact come true and be way better. I mean, a Cinderella story is just some prince and some, eventually a princess, how she became. Okay, I get it. But we don't live in castles. Your home is your castle. So it's not that much different from real life if you look at it. The guy gets the girl gets the guy. What's there to say that it's impossible, it's a fairy tale? No, that happens in real life. Not the same exact way with all the magic that Disney puts into it or Pixar movies. But real life is infinitely better than any cartoon can possibly portray love to be. And that's what you need to realize. So yes, think about how immature and unintelligent a man has to be to say, that's rubbish. That's impossible. No. Such guys, I don't even want to call them men. Such males out there, unintelligent males, who think a fairy tale in a movie or cartoon is impossible, are extremely unintelligent. And they're void of any wisdom. Because somebody who doesn't believe in true love is already a basket case for, the garbage pit. That's just the wastelands of garbage. They're already living in a dumpster with that type of attitude. And imagine if you're looking for someone to potentially spend the rest of your life with, and they say nobody's perfect, perfection doesn't exist, or oh, fairy tales, yeah, that's impossible. No, that stuff's stupid. I would highly advise that you stay extremely far away from such stupid people. Because that's who you potentially want to have kids with or get married to and not have kids, it doesn't matter. You want to spend the rest of your life with someone like that? I'm just going to give the example that I one of the go-to examples. In a pinball machine game, when you're going to play your very first round, you pull that spring back as far back as possible and you let it go, right? And you expect that ball to go all the way deep down into that machine. And then so you can play the game. What happens if you don't pull the spring back far enough? That ball isn't going to get into the game, right? Now, love is not a game. But by golly, if your spring is not strong enough, that ball's not going anywhere. So by you saying that perfection doesn't exist, that you don't care, that fairy tales are just fiction, there's nothing to learn from that's impossible to achieve in real life, that ball isn't going anywhere. So you're just going to end up perpetually pulling back on that spring with such little power, such little passion, if any, and you expect for that ball to get into the pinball machine. It's not going to happen. And love works the exact same way. How much passion do you really have? Because if you're saying garbage like that to begin with, and it is sad because there's so many men and women, not just women out there, they fantasize over this. True love, a real fairy tale story come to life, They do. Men do. Just as much as the women. They just don't talk about it. They want that. But everybody laughs at them because, well, the world is unfortunately dominated by lots of stupid people. And they try to put down love and all the potential it has. And unfortunately, well, that's like the rose in the desert. You're going to find some roses, but it's a desert. What do you expect? The rest is going to be just boring sand. Bland. So yes, unfortunately, that's the type of society we live in today. But with that said, if you have a comment that you would like for me to go over on this show, put it down in the comment section down below. This has been Coach Ben. Stop dating losers. Much love, everybody.